Da, da, da.
Hi.
Hello. Let me just make sure.
How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Living the dream.
Isn't that life these days? Totally.
Kiddo's set up with the tablet and's got snacks, so we should be good to go for at least a little bit.
Okay, we've got this. We've got this. So I feel like I speak to you all of the bloody time, or
Yes.
talk at you all of the time. So Shah, meet Sierra. Sierra, meet Shah.
I just want to say I am obsessed with your hair.
Thank you.
I'm obsessed with your hair. I wish I had the balls to dye my hair fun colors like that. It is so pretty and so cool. I love it.
Thank you so much. It is hard work, the upkeep, but it's so worth it.
Is that all your real hair?
Most of it, yeah. I've just got a bit in the back for thickness.
Still jealous. Love it. Obsessed.
It's good hair. It's the only reason why I'm friends with her.
It's so pretty. Like, so pretty.
Okay, so guys, everybody in here, this is the lady I probably rant about far too often about how amazing why choose. Do we call, they're not really mafia though, are they? Well, I suppose the first duet is slightly mafia related.
Yeah.
The second ones, they're more like the cavalry, aren't they? They are vigilantes, I would say.
Yeah, I call them like mercenaries, but mercenaries, vigilantes, hit squad, whatever.
Damn fine men is what we call them. Damn.
Yes. Yes.
I have always just gushed about how your writing just flows so easy through my busy brain.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, I can't. I can't. I'm just such a fan. It's really annoying me how much I can't speak properly, but you just smash it every time. And
Thank you.
You can come in. I can honestly just say.
Thank you. I was worried about it because like I've read so many Why Choose books, and like some authors do such a good job at giving like each character their own voice and their own personality. So it was something I was really worried about, but I feel like I pull like a little bit of me into each character. So I feel like maybe that's what's helped me a ton. Like some of my characters are super playful, some of them are more serious, but like I try to put a little bit of each of me into them, especially even the male character. So I feel like that's helped me a ton. So at least I think so.
Okay, so we do have like a bunch of questions to ask. Do you have yours to hand or do you want me? I've got them on my phone.
Me?
Sure, sorry. Do you want me to read the questions from here? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Do you have any you want to ask? Or
If I could send you the voice notes that I've sent to open these books. I looked over my shoulder to make sure no one was looking at what I was reading. Mm-hmm. But I must admit, it's been the first Why Choose when I didn't choose. And I've usually got a favourite out of all of them, but I didn't. I loved them all as equal. Like they all had a little bit where it was just, oh, they were amazing.
Oh, sorry. What, Jay? Bring it here. Sorry.
Our own.
This is the
yeah, I try not to pick a favorite because it feels like picking a favorite child. I mean, even though I only have one child, it feels like picking a favorite child. But I'd be lying if I said like I didn't have an absolute favorite. But I try not to sway people's opinions.
I think my favourites have centred around. Sorry, so we're talking about Dangerously Safe and Dangerously Kept right now because Shah hasn't moved on to. You haven't moved on to the next set, have you?
No.
I'd say my favourite is still Mac. He's got that golden retriever vibe about him.
Mm-hmm.
He's just delicious. But
Mac. Mac and Enzo, who is in the second duet, which you haven't read yet, but they're just like my playful characters, and they're so fun. And I can be kind of like snarky and bantery sometimes, just like sassy, and I like being able to put that in those two characters. They're just fun. It's just fun for me to write that way, especially like in a darker romance book, to be able to have a character that like lightens up the mood a little.
Yeah.
Is fun.
Releases somewhat.
Yeah. Yep.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay, right. So your first book was published when? When did you first say, right, hit send?
March of 2023.
March 2023. And that was Dangerously Safe.
Yep. That was my first one I've ever done.
Amazing.
And I really just like, I let it rip. I was like new to like the Book Talk, Bookstagram community, like period. I didn't have like a reader's account or anything before that. So I probably did it backwards and what I probably should have, but I released it, and then, cause I just like, I don't know, I got a fire under my ass, I guess, and I just wanted to put it out there. And then I kind of went backwards and did like all the marketing and meeting people and all that stuff afterwards.
Yeah.
But it's worked out thus far, I guess. At least for that one it did.
I literally can't remember how or where I found your book.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that as soon as I found it, I don't think you were my first Why Choose, but you were one of the first few. And yeah, I inhaled it.
I love them. I love Why Choose books. I get in like a kick sometimes where it's like all I read. They're just fun. And I think it's just because there's so many characters. I really like them. I don't know if you've ever read, do you guys know who Ames Mills is? She wrote Riches to Riches. It's like it's a whole Abs Valley series.
Okay.
But they're like a dark Why Choose romance series. And when I tell you I ate them up, oh my god, they're so good. They're like my favorite Why Choose series to date. It's so good. But she has, in some of the books, she has like 6 MMCs. It's like crazy. But her character building and like the personality she puts in each character is just so good. Like so good. So her books are kind of what inspired me to do the Why Choose in the first place. But I love them. I love them.
No, that's insane. 6 men. Always got enough. Never mind.
They're so good though. And it doesn't even feel, I don't know, the way she writes it, like it doesn't even feel like an overwhelming amount of characters.
Yeah.
Yes. But like they're fat books. They're like, I think they're like 500, 600 page books. They're
Wow. Sounds like a casino in here now. No, that is. I like 6 characters. I like when people understand that things could be too much, but they just nail it with the way they write. And I think with the confusion that a Why Choose could give off, and like I've read some and I've been having to scan back to be like, who's talking? And they go some, but you just, I think because of your character building, I already know who's talking, because I fall in love with your characters. I know who's talking from the way they're saying things. That makes sense. Am I being absolutely cryptic?
No, it makes sense. I love it. And I like that you think that way, because at least I hope that's how I'm writing it.
Yeah.
So when people say that, it makes me feel a lot better.
The characters are so solid. You don't miss, because people know. Like, well, I just know. That's why when I said to you during the arc, I was like, I'm pretty sure somebody else is speaking.
Yeah, that was my bad.
It was somebody else's name. What are your like ideal writing conditions? Like dark room, candles?
I'm psychotic. I can't have music. I can't have TV. It has to be like silent.
Okay.
I'm like, I know so many people that can write with like the TV on or music on. I can't have, I swear to God, sometimes I have like undiagnosed ADD. But it's like, I have to have it so quiet. And I just like sit in my office, on my desk, in silence. Sometimes I try to have like a cappella music going, but even sometimes that's like too distracting for me. But before my son started going to daycare, I couldn't write with him at home during the day. There was just like too much happening, too much going on. So I would, after everybody would go to bed, I would sit downstairs until like 1 a.m. and just silence.
Constantly tired then, clearly, if you're writing whilst everyone's finally asleep.
Yeah, it's gotten much better since he's gone to daycare. I have a much more manageable schedule for myself, and I feel a lot more rested. Much better.
That's good. That is so good. So your first book was published in 2023. What have you learned about yourself since writing the very first line of Dangerously Safe?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question.
Oh, thank you.
I don't really know if you'd call it like a negative trait, but I'm super like self-critical, like sometimes detrimentally so, like to the point where I'll start something and just it never feels good enough, so I just don't finish it. So when I've released Dangerously Safe, it was really hard for me because I was like, I just can't believe I did it. Nobody's gonna like it. But writing, I'm on like, I don't know, my 7th book already.
Yep.
And it has helped me just build up so much more confidence, like with myself and my knowledge and my skills. Because it feels like I'm actually, good at something. Like it just comes very naturally to me. And I guess even if I didn't have like all the positive reviews, even if I never read any of them, I feel like I do a good job. Yeah. And that doesn't happen very often for me. Yeah. Like very rarely do I genuinely feel like I'm doing good at something, even though people can tell me I am. So that's been really nice. Just a little confidence boost in myself, feeling like I'm strong in doing something without people having to tell me otherwise. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that. What parts of the book or parts of any of your books do you find most difficult to write?
The smut scenes. Yes, honey.
Sorry.
What's wrong? Okay, but I'm doing something.
So
Mama.
Timing was perfect.
I know. Say hi.
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 Hey.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. Is that better?
No.
What do you want to do?
I love that part though, how you can switch between author and mum. It's just
always, constantly. What do you need, honey? Why don't you play a different game if you can't figure it out, okay?
Oh, my son is playing Minecraft at the minute and he has no clue and I have even less of a clue. So we're just both two idiots staring at the screen trying to figure out how to play Minecraft until my nephews come over and help me. It's wild.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, the smut scenes for sure. Those take me sometimes like days to write.
Okay.
I don't know why they're so hard for me. But like just the banter, just outside of the smut scenes, like just the banter and the conversation is always so easy for me to write. And I think maybe because there's so little of that in the smut scenes sometimes, it's more just like action. So those are hard for me. Those are hard for me. I don't know why, but they are, especially like in the books that I co-write. More often than not, I'll have my co-author do them because I'm just like, I'll do all of like the banter and the jokes and all the funny stuff, but sometimes they just take me forever to write, like forever.
Now, I tried once. I tried to write a smut scene because I just had things bouncing around in my very single head. And I wrote it down. I created some of these characters. I didn't write a book. It was almost like someone gave me a creative writing, like, bit of homework. And I wrote a smut scene and I napped afterwards. I was just like, I'm exhausted. Someone give me a hit and let me go to sleep.
It's hard because you'd think, like, I mean, everybody does it. Everybody has sex. Everybody does it. So you would think it'd be an easy thing to do, I guess, because it's not, I mean, yes, you're like making it up and like the characters aren't real, but it's like, it's a real thing. You know what I mean? So you'd think it would be easier to do, but for me, it's writing them as hard. And people say they're good. People say I do a good job. So I'm glad it doesn't transfer how hard it is for me to write them.
To be fair, your book was the first one where waterworks happened. I was like,
people tell me, they're like, you made me cry. I'm like, yes.
I don't mean crying. Half of waterworks.
That, yeah, happens to me all the time. It's fine. Not when I'm writing. When I'm reading other people's, happens all the time.
It was one of the most steamiest books I think I've read.
Right?
Yeah.
Seriously? Oh,
yeah.
That's such an honor. The second duet, I don't think is quite as steamy as the first duet. At least I don't think so.
I tell you, that part, okay, I can't really say it right now, but there is a bit that you actually used as a meme. You've created a meme out of it with the Sex and the City characters. And the way my jaw nearly fell off my face, because that for me leveled up the intensity of all of their relationship. Like, so there's a bit of an vibe in the second duet, which you kind of hear a little bit about in Dangerously Safe. Only a tiny allusion.
Yeah.
You allude to it. And obviously you get to dive into deeper, and it's just, it's just cannot.
I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on whether or not I wanted to include MM in Dangerously Safe and Dangerously Kept, especially since, obviously not between Ronan and Mac, because that's gross. But like with Finn, and I went back and forth and back and forth, and I just couldn't decide. And then I was like, you know what? I don't feel like it would have came natural. I felt like it would have been forced, and especially since like he was like their brother, like they were just so close. Yeah, even though he wasn't really their brother, like for all intents and purposes, he was their brother. So I just felt like it would have been forced to like do full on like MM scenes, but throwing a little scene in here and there, I feel like was like just the right amount, perfect amount.
I've never read an entire book of just MM or FF. I haven't done that. So let's say even if it was like an introduction, it was a great way to do it because, again, because you met them in the first book, you fell in love with their characters, their banter, or their seriousness almost in the first set. So in the second set, you were kind of almost ready for it, but then you made it so that no one was ready for anything. And it was just like... So
I didn't even know I was gonna do that, to be quite honest. I pulled it out of my ass, and so that's one of people's like favorite scenes. So I was like, glad I did it.
You guys, anyone that is watching, again, I will say it again, this is SR Clark. She has Dangerously Safe and Dangerously Kept. That is her first duet. The second one is the prices we pay, and then the prizes we win. And read them. If you like Why Choose, if you like, I've said it all before, just go and read them. Have you seen my new covers? Look at. You know, they are super cute. I have seen them on online.
I got them in today. This is like my first round of like actual printed copies today.
Excellent.
I love them.
They are really pretty. Do you do them? Hi. You do them yourself. You're amazing. Is this something that you've just recently started doing? Sorry, I'm doing a formal question.
No, the covers I've done for myself since day one.
Okay.
But I went to school for marketing, so like I have a decent amount of graphic design background, I guess you would say. And when I first released them, I had no money to afford a cover designer, so I really didn't have a choice. So I did them, but I've learned a lot about cover design since I did like the original Dangerously Safe and Dangerously Kept covers.
I still want those covers.
And I love them. They're great. Like the original dark, these ones you're talking about? These ones?
Yeah. Because I love them. Me as a whole, I am black and white. I am monochrome. That is me. So
yeah,
those need to be.
Yeah, I wanted something that was like, if it was sitting on a shelf in a store, it kind of like
jumped out. I get that.
Yeah, popped out a little bit more. And like, while I love these, I love them because they're like, my original babies. Like, I love them. They just never quite like, I don't know, conveyed what I wanted them to. Yeah. But since I did these, I've learned a lot about cover design, so I just figured, why not?
Why not? Absolutely.
Yes.
Just threw that in there, so I do apologise. I would say, no, this kind of pertains to the next set, so I won't go into that one yet. The next question is, which of your side characters do you think could have their own book? But I'll let you answer to see if you've got any other.
From this duet or from the second one?
I'm going to say the second one. No, either one.
Yeah, she's getting her so Jasper, which you said you haven't read the second duet, right?
No, I haven't read them yet.
Okay. What was your name again? I'm terrible. I'm sorry.
Char.
Okay. So you haven't read that one yet, but Jasper is getting his own, like Jasper and the guys in Montana are getting their own book with the FMC that I introduced. But that's going to be more of a Western.
Yeah, it's giving cowboy. It's giving cowboy.
Yeah, it's giving, and I'm fucking pumped about it. I'm so excited. You have no idea. Okay, go ahead. No, I'm talking. Go ahead. No, you can do it. No, yes, you can. I wanted to skip writing the prizes we win so bad because I knew that duet, like I was going to do it eventually, but I wanted to start writing it so bad because I just wanted to write the cowboy harem. I'm so pumped about it. You have no idea.
Amazing. So
it's going to be like, the show, have you ever heard of the show Yellowstone? I don't know if you, it's going to give like Yellowstone vibes.
Excellent. I cannot wait.
Love it. I've been dying to write it. You have no idea.
I love it. So this comes from the main FMC in the second duet. It's like her brother.
Okay, honey.
That's who will be stepping into the fold, her brother and her friend. So again, you'll be introduced to him as well in the second duet.
Yeah. So the main character, the main FMC in the second duet, her name is Josephine. And she is originally from Montana, Billings, Montana. But her brother still lives there. Her brother's name is Jasper. He works on a ranch with three other men. So there's 4 in total. Okay, Jameson.
Such a cool name.
Flush the potty. Where to go?
Fully understood.
Oh, okay. I'll be right back. 1 second. Sorry.
Yeah. Mum's life is actually never her own again, is it?
Never stops. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So it's a case of walk, don't run to go and read her books. Connor Ford said he loves her hair.
Thank you.
Book Daddy and Grayton need to chat because they do like,
They do this, well, not the same thing, but they both narrate, don't they?
yeah. Might be good people to speak with.
Sorry.
Oh, let me disconnect.
Have kids inside would be fun instead.
How do you deal with writer's block, or have you ever dealt with writer's block?
Yeah, for sure. The prizes we win was very hard for me. It took me a while. I don't know, I guess I just take a break. I'm not the type of writer who can just like write a bunch of nonsense and then get rid of scenes here and there if I don't like them. Like, I know some authors will just like all of a sudden they'll decide to delete half a chapter, or they'll delete a couple. Like, my brain can't function that way. But something that helps me a lot is, I don't know if you know the books that I co-write with Tilly Ridge.
Yes.
Those are very different. They're very much like contemporary, funny, rom-com-y romance books.
Yep.
So those help. So like when I'm stuck in one, I write the other one just because they're so different. They're on such a different wavelength. Rather than writing the same type of thing over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. So that's helped me a ton. I don't think if I had those books to write with her, I would have such an easy time writing the books on my own.
Yeah.
Because it gives a good change of pace for like vice versa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you two meet? Like,
I actually did a podcast. So she used to do a podcast. She doesn't do it anymore, but with one of her friends. And I was like the first author that they had on that podcast. And then she started writing on her own. And then our editor, who is now our editor, Sadie, during college volleyball playoffs last year or 2 years ago, so 2023, she like offhandedly posted on her Instagram story. She was like, I would pay money for somebody to be able to write like a college volleyball romance, because like there are none. And I was like, oh my God, I'll do it. And then Tilly also was like, oh my God, I'll do it. So we were like, let's just do it together. And then
it spiraled.
We did. And now we talk every day. And now we're on our third book already. So
it's amazing. I need to start from the beginning with those and join in.
Mm-hmm. So the first two, the first one, Strong Side. And then the one that's coming out the end of the month, Side Out. Those two are MM books. So if you've never read an MM, that's what they are. The entirety of the series is not going to be all MM books, but the first two are. So
I'm gonna give it a try. I did try one once, and it was so unrealistic. I couldn't grasp it. So I think the plot shook me out of the book more than the actual MM part. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
Well, and I think sometimes some people have a hard time going from the books I write on my own to those books, and not necessarily because one's rom-com and one's dark romance, but those books, in all intents and purposes, they're pretty short. They're only like 250 pages versus like, the stories that I write on my own, each duet in total is like 600-700 pages total. So I think people sometimes think those rom-com stories feel kind of rushed in comparison to like the books I write on my own and the books she writes on her own. But they're a totally different style of book, So I think sometimes people have a hard time keeping that in mind, but you can't, unless you do, like a 400-500 page book, you can't explain everything or write out every aspect of the relationship, or, you know what I mean? So I personally don't think a rom-com book has any business being a 400-page book.
It's not. I don't feel like it's needed at all.
No, like not at all.
If you could cast the movie of any of your books, your solo books, who would you have? I need to know.
Oh my god, that's so hard. Probably, I would probably. Oh my god, I don't even know. I literally don't even know. It's hard for me to envision like an actor or actress for Dangerously Safe and Dangerously Kept because like I didn't base those characters off of anybody. I just kind of like
what?
made them up in my brain.
Yeah.
But like the prizes we win and the prices we pay, I base off of people I like found on Pinterest or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never even thought about it, but that would be really exciting. You know who, like, I think, have you ever watched Shameless?
Yes, Effie.
You know what Shameless is? I don't know if you can watch it over there or not, but
I think we had a different Shameless to you. We had a British Shameless which came out, God, I saw I was in like secondary school.
Was it? Maybe ours came after then.
I think so. I'm going to have a look.
Yeah, but the actress from that show, from the American Shameless, she has like super curly, pretty brown hair. And like every time I think of like Harper's hair, just the way I envision it in my brain, that's what I think of. Just like big, curly, pretty hair. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that and get back to you because I want to make sure I'm answering it correctly. Because, like, when I think of Finn, especially, I can picture him clearly in my brain, but I've never been able to find a picture of a person who looks like how I imagine them.
It's Finn blonde hair.
Yeah, and like a little bit of a stubble. Yeah.
So tasty, that one.
You know, like Sons of Anarchy. Have you ever seen Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah.
He's the closest real life person I can picture.
Yeah.
In real life. Other than that, I have no idea.
That is
Well,
awesome.
that's not the answer you were hoping for.
No, you're fine. What research did you do for the books? Any of your books?
I'm a person, like, I have a hard time reading a book while I'm writing a book.
Yeah.
But I had read a lot of Why Choose Romances up to that point. I already talked about like Ames Mills. Her books are very heavily like mafia oriented. But I will say I did research, like, they're not really. I don't know if mafias are real. I'm sure they are real, but not to the extent that they were years ago. So a lot of it is just make believe, I guess you would say. But I did try to accurately describe like places in New York because both duets are in New York.
Yeah.
And I knew that people who read it were going to live there, and I didn't want them to be like, she's full of shit. She don't know what the hell she's talking about. And I have never been there, so I tried my hardest to make it a point to accurately depict pieces of the city.
Yeah.
And then as far as mafia stuff, I kind of just made it up as I went along because I've read so many mafia books, and for the most part, everybody just kind of makes up their own thing, right?
Movie references, other books and shows. Yeah.
What'd you say? Sorry.
I'm just saying, like, people will take it from the movies they've seen, the books they've read, there's so many things. And then you've got like the docu-series, I can't say that word, that you can always kind of lean on for like reference, things like that.
Yeah, I was more worried about things that were real, getting those correct. So like places in New York City and all that stuff, getting those correct, rather than so much like the mafia stuff per se.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about any future plans for audio?
I'm hoping so. I'm still trying to work out like a few details of things, but maybe possibly.
I mean, we'll leave it at that. Hopefully one day we'll sort of kind of.
I have like a lot of announcements happening right now, so I wanted to spread them out. But keep an ear out.
Ear to the ground. Everybody, please go and follow SR Clark. Get any way involved. Yeah, it has been an absolute pleasure. I don't have any more questions. Does anybody else have any questions in the chat in the room? What is do you have a comfort chaos right? You go back.
No, I don't. So like, just like, I think this is what they're talking about. Just like a story I write on my computer to kind of like brain dump things that I would never necessarily publish. I think that's what you're talking about. Maybe, possibly. No, I don't. I more will just like, if I'm really stuck on a scene, I'll just write like an entire chapter just to like, even though I don't necessarily think it'll fit the book or what I'm trying to say, but like if something's really stuck in my head and I can't think of anything else, I'll write a whole chapter and then I'll just delete it. It's like, you know how when you have a song stuck in your head, if you listen to the song like in real life, then it like it's not in your head anymore. Sometimes that's what I do. I think that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, it would make sense. But a chaos right makes sense now that you've explained that.
I know people do that. I know several authors who have stories that they've been like, that they work on and off for like years at a time that they necessarily are never going to do anything with.
Yeah. And is there anybody else that you know that you've kind of, like any characteristics that you've put into characters in the book? Do any of your characters remind you of people you know?
Yeah, so some of my like friends that I grew up with, just like their likes or dislikes or like mannerisms that they do, when I'm trying to think of like certain things I can add to a character to make them feel more realistic to a reader, I'll add them to characters or like places I grew up in or places like a coffee shop. Like if I'm trying to think of a coffee shop or something, I base it off of like a real coffee shop from like where I'm from or from where I live. Like I can't just make up stuff in my brain like that. I have to base it off of something. So sometimes I have to be really careful to not make characters too similar to people that I know. You know what I mean? Because like that's at least where I pull things from. So no one character, I guess, is a specific person that I know, but I definitely pull from like people in my life for like bits and pieces.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is.
And then it's fun because like if my friends read them, sometimes they'll message me and they'll be like, "Did you get that from me?" And I'll be like, Yeah, I did.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Mm-hmm.
So have you got any burning questions about the two books you just read?
That poor girl's hoo-ha, that's all.
I know. I think sometimes people too, they're like especially people that I know, because I'm from a very teeny tiny, small town. Like that's the whole reason I kind of chose like a fake name, just because the town that I'm from, like everybody's all up in everybody's shit 24. Like it's just, it's insane. So, but eventually everybody found out like it was me and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, no.
It's like everybody's always like, oh my God, do you do that? I'm like, no, just because I write about it. Like, first of all, I would never tell you. Second of all, no.
Yeah.
But I was like, people, it's real. Like, people do have like those types of relationships. Like, I feel like it happens more often than people think.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like those types of relationships are everywhere. They're just not as loud about it as like we write them to be in the books, I guess.
Yeah. That's so funny.
I don't yuck anybody's yum. You do you. You want 5 boyfriends? Go for it, sister. More power to you.
I mean, I know many men who've had multiple girlfriends, but it doesn't always end up book style.
Right. And I think that's like why it's such a shock sometimes. I could go on a rant about it in and of itself, but like, you know, if it's the other way around, like a man having multiple girlfriends, it's like whatever. It's not.
Yeah.
People generally don't think twice about it. And I kind of like, it's almost as like a writer and writing these female characters, it's almost like just, it's empowering almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be able to be like, not only can these characters like be themselves and be who they are and have one partner, but several partners that like accept them for who they are, I guess. So, no, go ahead.
I feel like something that I don't get from your books with Why Choose, and I get from pretty much every other one, is that the female who doesn't have to choose gets so like, oh, but I can't, but no, there's too many, but what will people think of me? Whereas I think the girls in your book have been like, here we go, let's give this a bash, and they just go for it. And I find that to be the part that's empowering, rather than having to be coached into doing it or speaking to a best friend over wine to kind of, well, go for it kind of thing. Whereas they just literally make up their mind, go with their feelings, thoughts and emotions and go for it. Like that part is very much empowering for women, because she didn't need 10 other opinions and an back from the pastor to go and do it. She just felt it and went for it.
And you know, like if you want to talk to your girlfriends and talk through these experiences, that's fine. But like a lot of women also don't. A lot of women just want to be able to do what they want to do without having to like hash the entire thing out. And I think it's important, like, just to feel confident in your decisions, and who cares what anybody else thinks. Like, if the people that matter are okay with it, fine. Like, do whatever you want to do, you know? And like, while Harper and Joe are wildly different, Harper's definitely more inward, I think, and soft-spoken. And I am like that a lot of times. I'm very inward, and so I can be very soft-spoken. But you can also, I think it's important, you can also be that, and you can be extremely confident in yourself too. Like, they're not two sides of the same. You can be both. And I really like that about Harper's character, versus like Joe is very like strong and loud and like just doesn't give up.
Oh, adored her from the very first.
I need to read this one.
Getting ready for her interview, I was just like, I would wear this. I need this outfit.
Yes. And like I would try something like that on, and I'd talk myself out of it.
Right.
And I'd put something else on. So like writing Joe was like, I always say all the time, certain parts of Joe are very much like myself, just like certain parts of Harper are very much like myself. But I say all the time, Joe is who I wish I could be, like, all the time.
Yeah.
She's who I wish I had the confidence to be, like, 24/7.
Yeah.
You know? So I like it. I think writing, like, different sides of myself in each of the female characters is really fun. But yeah, I definitely agree. There's something to be said about like women just being like confident in like their sexuality and wanting to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And who cares? Like, if you want to share it with the world, go for it. But if you want to keep it to yourself, that's fine too. Like,
I think there's a big thing about these days. People have to get approval from everyone
yeah,
and their social media account before they can
Yeah.
make a decision massively about themselves.
yeah,
I heard a clip. I'm pretty sure it was on here, and they were talking about the show Love on the Spectrum. And they were saying about how these guys come with their boundaries. They come with knowing exactly what they want and exactly what they don't want. They go on these dates and they're like, actually, no, I didn't really like this date, but thank you for your time anyway. And just they left. And if us neurotypicals could date like that, there'll be a lot less people with people they don't actually want to be with in situations they don't want to be in, because they're just lying to themselves and then to other people, and then all of a sudden there's a massive mess.
yeah. And that's like what I try to do for Harper, and especially for Joe, is just like, if they don't like something, bye. Like, if you don't like the way somebody's speaking to you, I'ma tell them. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So I try to, but I also am like, with my next duet, that FMC, she definitely is going to be,
I'm sure.
like, well, I said, Harper is very much inward and soft-spoken. She's still confident in her decisions.
Yeah.
My third FMC is definitely going to be a little bit more weary and more hesitant, just because that's also, people are like that.
I think that's part of who her character already is as well, or she's already been through enough to get her to that point, to being very walls up, caution. And again, when you read the second duet, this will all make sense.
I know, I keep talking about it like you know what I'm talking about. But I think it's important too to find partners that, like, if you do have walls up and you are really shy and you are really like hesitant, I feel like it's super important to find partners that make you not so.
Yeah.
Not necessarily make you not so, but help you come out of your shell when you want to. So I'm definitely going to like explore that dynamic a little bit more in the third duet, and just approach the relationships, I guess, with a little bit more caution and a little bit with more care, rather than everything being so like bing bang boom.
Yeah. It was, I think it was, is her name, she's a book talker, the lady who I forwarded your book to is it Ari? I can't say her name. But anyway,
There's so many characters, I can't even keep them right sometimes.
The way she was saying how that Harper had absolutely no self-preservation. She just jumped in the car with the guys in the beginning of the first book. Like, okay.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
The way she said that absolutely had me in hysterics.
But it's like sometimes some people wish, I mean, obviously it's not real life, so like you're obviously not gonna like go willingly with three men who are trying to kidnap you. I'm aware of that. But like sometimes you just want to be like dive headfirst into something. Like, it's a totally reasonable thing. Again, obviously not if you sense you're in danger. I get it. But for all intents and purposes, it's nice to be able to be like, if something feels like it's going to be like fun, just like do it.
Absolutely. Okay.
You know?
Last almost, it's kind of a question. So this could be bookish or like normal everyday. Like, tell us like maybe 2 things that people wouldn't expect of you, whether it's a bookish idea or something in your like normal everyday life.
Bookish wise, I would say, even though dark romance was like my first 2 duets, it's not like my favorite. I would rather much more write like fluffier, bandier, still very spicy. I like writing very spicy books, but I've learned about myself that I really enjoy writing like the fluffier, funnier, rom-com-y scenes more than I do like the incredibly dark, heavy scenes. Like, I still want there to be like a lot of intense emotion, I guess, but more just like, you get what I'm saying, like more just like rom-com-y
Yeah. Maybe you want to move into like the like almost the protector style, because I've read some really hilarious ones where she's almost like a damsel in distress, and oh no, she stumbled across a Navy SEAL who can protect her, and I'm just like, I would stumble into like a comedian, and she's stumbled
with Mafia, and like it's hard to just focus on like it's hard to explain. It's hard to focus on just like the relationships, because with Mafia, there always has to be so many like external factors happening. Versus if it was more of a contemporary romance, you can really just lean heavily into those people's relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That makes sense. So there's that. Personal wise, I don't know. What about me? I like to just be like goofy all the time. My husband, like if I'm not like obnoxious, but like if we're in the grocery store and there's a good song on or something, my son and I will just start dancing in the middle of the grocery store, and my husband's face will just like go red. Not that he's like embarrassed of me, but like it draws more attention.
I love that.
My dad is very much like that. He's just like, my dad can make friends with anybody. Likes to just be silly and be fun. Like somebody could be walking down the street right now and I'll go outside and I'll make a friend. Like I just love talking to people and connecting with people. It's just fun for me. Some people hate it. Some people, my sister, if she could sit in her house all the time and never have to talk to anybody, she'd be the happiest person on the planet. But I just like having fun and being silly and making friends. It just, sometimes you gotta be silly. Right. Life's is too serious and already to not bring yourself a little bit of joy every once in a while, you know? So, and I grew up being very concerned with what everybody thought of me all the time. Like I was constantly worried about what people thought of me. And I don't know if it's because I have a child now and I don't want him to be that way. But like the older I'm getting, the less I care. Honestly, I could care less. The less I care. I just want to have, I'm just to the point where like, I just want to have fun, you know?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I mean, we've taken up just under an hour at a time, and I'm happy. I'm a happy lady. I'm really, really happy. I'm so glad you came on as one of my favorite authors. Like, thank you.
Thanks for having me. Sorry if I chatted your ears off.
Oh, that's what we like. I mean, the time's going so fast, and we really appreciate it. And just as more things keep rolling out for you, pop back and say hi, tell us all about it.
If you ever want me to come on again, I like chit-chatting, so I'm here.
No problem. Well, good luck with everything coming.
Thank you.
We'll keep an eye out.
See the cowboy. Can't wait.
I know, I'm excited. I can't wait for people to read it. I'm pumped. Thank you, ladies.
Any dates I need to know about? No, not yet.
I haven't even started writing it, so...
Okay, fine. I pushed my luck enough tonight. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, thank you.
And we shall see you soon, hopefully.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.
Oh, everybody's taking a minute. That was so cool.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Talk about fangirling. Like,
you were so happy about having a Star Clock on.